Greetings and salutations, I am Karen Russell, and yeah, I'm late. Just a little bit, anyway. How y'all doing out there in the world of wherever you are? Hi Josh. Just trying to log into my other computer so I can bring up chat while I play. And I'm forgetting my password. There we go. Got it. And click that. Click that. Click that. Double check that. Ignore that. And there we go. And then I bring up my mod mode just in case. And alright, so oh wait, I need to turn that off because that's not happening anymore. So I'm just going to click through these so that I can make sure that there's none there so that people don't get confused, because I know how easy it is to confuse people. Alright, so I can't quite remember what I was up to for this. So let's kill the background music, switch to the video, and click continue. Now that basically I'd finished double audio. In what way double audio? Hopefully it sorted itself out now. I finished crawling through the dungeon, although there was still the riddle in the dungeon, but it's another dungeon that I need to go into. A video playing? I don't think I've got anything else running in the background. I'll just close up some stuff. Now I got absolutely no audio at the moment, and the only audio capture is the game. So that should just be the background music. Oh yeah, I cleared out the technically carried out, which completed the side quests of the character. I don't know. The companion quests for Octavia and forgotten his name. Rongongar. Alright, cool, no worries. It's better that you call out these things because you never know when it's going to be me or when it's going to be something else. Right, let's get back to my kingdom and then we can just double check if there's anything else going on, because I seem to recall, yeah, the exclamation marks before going in. Oh god. Right, stop. Kingdom. And events. The Master of Pain and Travelling Interrogator and Executioner Priestess of Azon and Kuthon is offering her services to the Baron. The half-elf is certain there is much to learn about from the Baron and his prisoners once they're in her hands. No, but what? I mean, it's being flagged up as a problem. Let's send this guy. I'm not too fussed if he succeeds or fails, as long as that person is out of my kingdom. Rightio. Let's go back to town and rest up. Crumbs. of much. Oh, no, I got some stuff to sell off. So that ancient cost 16 days. Still don't know much about the Lost Brother. No, don't rest there, just get back to town. It's only another hour. Go to the throne room. That's something that have I sorted that out? Do I want to sort that out? Oh, I can't remember. I'll have to check the map. There's another area that I'm sort of like, should I? Have I grabbed that place? I might have done. Doop doop doo doop doop doo. I've grabbed all the reasons that I can. I don't have. Oh no, I do have a village in this region. I need to go there. There are some kind of merchants waiting there for me. Right, let's go out and sell up stuff. It's mainly just junk. In the market square. Seems very insistent somewhere along the lines of sort of like every little town that you add in, there's going to be some kind of crafter who'll join your kingdom, your barony, your entourage of people. Yeah, artisans who give some nice gifts. It just seems odd to me that it's so neatly divided up that in every single town that you settle, there's always at least one good artisan who's going to do wonders for you. I mean, there's a couple that I've essentially had to kick out. The weaponsmiths of one of my towns were really dubious. One basically had apprentices that they seem to treat more like slaves than actual people. And the other was wanted by the law on some level. They wanted me to go take care of something for them, which basically meant go here and murder somebody for me. And I wasn't in favor of that, so I went there, talked to them about it, and was like, yes, they're wanted, and I'm a priest, paladin of Iomade, or one or the other. Not so much mercenary, lawful, very lawful. No, they do a lot of peacekeeping, paladins of Iomade, and so it was like, yes, I'm just going to turn this person in. It could have been some nice gifts, but, you know, again, trying to play this lawful good. So when a member of the law comes and says hi, the general response is not like, no, okay, what have you done? Or what do you want and how can I help? As opposed to, I'm just going to murder you now to appease my weaponsmith. So he pretty much got kicked out as well, not expecting any further gifts off him. But at the same token, it's been sort of like, if we go to the map, we've got an alchemist. Not sure if we got anybody in our town, but South Nile Marches got a dwarf armor or weaponsmith, not sure. Camelands was the 2 weaponsmiths, both of which I've had to throw out. Silver Lake or Silver Step has been, that's a jeweler's, they're okay. Shrike, I think that's my area, I'm not sure, I can't remember. But yeah, they've been sort of like, I think they're the only ones who have been quiet, but I could be forgetting somebody. But now I need to go to my new village and find some more artisans. Oh, cancel that. Let's get ready for get to the ball tilt hilltop. Okay, yeah. I will go there and do that after this. This is probably just telling me that the ball hilltop has awakened again, and this time the locals are being assaulted by not by common beasts, but legendary magical monsters. Wyverns, owlbears, and manticores, in a fit of fury, are ravaging the barony. Led by a small number of particularly large and vicious beasts. Perhaps the invasion can be ended if the leaders are slain. I mean, let's send... That's not... Just gonna leave that one. Well, how long do I have? Oh, Neth. When the hell's Neth? Rover to Neth. I need to look this up. It would be really nice if somewhere along the lines it gave me an in-game Pathfinder months of the year. Okay, we've got we're in September. Rova, Lamashan, and then Neth. Okay, so we got an entire month before I really need to deal with that. I'm just wondering if I actually go myself to the bowl. The Roman numerals afterwards indicate the month. Heh. You're right. I don't know why I've never noticed that before. So, 9th month, 11th month. Ah, there we go. Again, I don't know why I've never noticed anything like that before. I got a little bit of time before I have to send somebody to that. A whole month, in fact. I'm just so used to a certain degree using the actual names of months. Alright. God, Cheryl? I'm innocent. It's a mistake. I haven't taken anything from anyone. Execute him. The young half-elf looked at you exhausted. Somebody has recently given him a black eye. There's panic in his voice. I beg you, help me. I haven't done anything wrong. So what is going on here? Greetings, Your Grace. I apologize for the noise. Our captain thought it would be good to make an example of this criminal. Keep the public in line, you know. This one turned out to be a little noisy. The half-elf looked shocked and terrified by his circumstance. You're the local ruler, aren't you? I beg you for mercy. I've been arrested as a thief, and I'm about to go to jail, but I haven't done anything wrong. I've never taken anything that wasn't mine. Someone slandered me for stealing property from a merchant in the capital. We had a deal. He promised to lend me money for a new workshop, but I didn't take a single coin. It's all a lie. I beg you, please. Nobody believes me. The merchant's name is Hassuf. He would help me only if he knew I was in trouble. Please, talk to the merchant in the capital. He will confirm I'm innocent. What is this half-elf charged with? Theft, Your Grace. We chased him all the way out here from the capital. Someone stole someone from a merchant. Stole something from a merchant and escaped. Just another scoundrel, Your Grace. Never mind him. They're all the same. He was found out, and now he's yelling about being innocent. I must go, and also make a mental note to go. Okay, it's in the book. Hasuf. Kimo. Before you is a pale elf with soft features on his soft features on his face, sharply contrasting his angular figure, but his woeful gaze is fixed on the ground. He finally notices you and startled blinks at you absentmindedly. He talks slowly, slightly in elongated words as he speaks. Good day. Who are you? Kimo. Kimo Travon. With a wide smile, the elf slowly nods at you. An odd name for an elf. My parents named me Camille, but my friends decided this name didn't suit me so well. What are you doing here? The elf blushes ever so slightly and lowers his gaze. I can't tell you. It's a secret. Although, if you promise to help me, then I'll tell you. What sort of help do you need? That's a secret. But it's not hard, not at all. You have my word. I can't agree to anything before I know exactly what you need. Well, if you insist. Nunthok the Hunter told me he saw an incredibly beautiful flower growing out of the swamp. I would go and pick it myself, but I fear it will become lost. Also, there's monsters there. So will you help? Very well. Perfect. Come back as soon as you can. Alright, I have to go. Bye! That's all. I mean... it's one of them situations where it's like, shouldn't some 2-bit mercenary local be dealing with these kind of things? Not the actual Baron for the whole place. Nothing of interest. Right. Oop, no. Come back this way.
In due time.
Bum bum bum. Does it at least give me a hint where he wants the flower? From where the flower is? Oh yeah, flower in the swamp, all the way to the south. Let's go to the bald hilltop. I need to go around this place and claim all the little points. At some point.
I'm hungry. When we stop?
Round about now. Manage. Hunter's Rest. Temporary hit points. Movement speed. All saving throws. It also gives me all saving throws, but wait. We have a plus 20 to cook a DC 20. Leave it. Somebody's not doing... I didn't mean to click that.
Merciful doesn't mean spineless. In one hand, Sarenrae holds a healing light. In the other, a killing sword.
I know you are good with your little sword. And you don't run away in a fight. But after a battle, you always have that face like you just swallowed a hedgehog. What's the point of fighting if you don't enjoy it?
Emery is very... well... Emery. To the bald hilltop. With my say... Some fearful monsters led by horrific masters are terrorizing the stolen lands, leaving nothing but mauled corpses in their wake. Negative free loyalty, divinity, and culture. That's pleasant to know, I suppose. I've managed to cut my finger and it troubles me every time I click using it. which is... Oh no, it's when I roll the mouse wheel. And I have no idea when I cut it. Oh, it's raining.
That is not far.
Everybody line up. Let us save. These have always been a pain in the ass, so let us buff. Right, you'll be raging. You have Fox's cunning, so make yourself more intelligent. You have bull strength that goes to Amory, and bear's endurance that goes to Valerie and Amory. And you have cat's grace, which goes to Tyron. Move forward. Terrible things are about to occur. The Manticore. Right, let us start off with an acid pit. In the hopes that that's going to do something for me.
Let us strike as one.
This is all miss.
This should do it.
Nice. I do so hate it when they just succeed that saving throw. Walking over the top of the pit and it's like, I succeeded my saving throw. Yeah.
Tear them apart! They go down!
That wasn't overly dangerous. Let us have a bless. Thank you, Tristan. Let's sing a song.
Serves you right.
And haste.
Consider me provoked. Do not falter.
More coming in. Oh, step too close to the pit. Move to the... Alright, ignore the pit.
A calculated
Murder.
risk.
Murder! Explosions.
This will hurt.
I'm pretty well at this one. No, I shouldn't speak too soon.
You deserved it.
Focus on this one.
This is for you.
I know he's taking a little bit of damage, but it's still in temporary hit points.
Let's try this way.
And that's the one that I want. I'll bear with bloody mirror image. Yes, something great water elementals. How nice. Murder. Bubble bomb. Alright, everybody dodge now. Shoot it off. Really do much for me, and scorching ray of Moray. Jesus.
Onward!
Again, I still think Octavia is the weakest of the people. Deal with Valerie being done up there. Because I just got massacred.
This should do it.
Bring it!
Oh, yeah, on catch everybody, not quite. Move up a little and catch everybody. Not bad. Can we get a displacement on Chiron? Love the way that it never you know, the whole yeah, I really need to work. I need to sit down with Octavia at some point and re-figure out all of her spells and whatnot. But it's one of them where it's like, doing okay at the moment. The thing is, I also need to, because the thing is, if I can get her to hit bonus up, you know, that Ray, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, could perform a sneak attack and get the added dice onto it. But the thing is, she rolled twice and missed on whatever it was. Scorching Ray, attacks. So she's got a +9 modifier, which isn't terrible, but I would need to get rid of that shoots into combat. That's the main thing that's holding her back, I feel. Because that would have been because that's a 19 to hit armor class 24, a missed. Even with the +4, it'd only be a 23 and still would miss. But then I rolled a 2. So yeah, this is the thing about Octavia, is like, yes, she can be a bit of a nuke, but unless I can figure out some way of getting her attack bonus up. I mean, I could have Cat's Graced her. That would have given her a bit of a boon, another +2. Because it's a dex save. Sorry, it's a dex check. So yeah, Cat's Grace, if that would have been 2, so the first one would have hit. At least. But she just one of the things I've noticed about Octavia, just in her dice rolls, for me, she is incredibly unlucky. You know, last session, there was a number of acid splash attacks where she only needed to roll a 5 or above, and there was sort of like 3 attacks in a row where she rolled a -1. This is a this is the curse on the bald hilltop. So this happens every now and again, and it's always terrible when it happens. This time I figured I'd actually cast spells and be prepared. Hold person doesn't work against her. Mirror image dimension door. What is that? Oh, extend. Okay. Don't really need that on a lot of things. But yeah, I really do need to go through her spells and figure out, you know, how to change these up to be direct damage rather than saving throws. Especially against touch to get her sneak attack up. Because at the moment, I'm just not getting there. Well, can you finish that thing off sooner rather than later? As she levels up the natural dex from being a transmuter gets better than gets better. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I think she's on dex. Figure that out in a moment. When it's actually out there. There we go. That one's out of the way.
A calculated risk.
Why me? Why me? I have a feeling you're going to be more pain in the arse than it is. So let's get rid of you. Nope. It's a miss. So yeah, she should have that going.
I'll fight if I have to.
Which didn't seem to do anything for her. You gain +1 enhancement bonus to dex. This bonus increases by +1 for every wizard levels you possess to the maximum +5 at level 20. And level 20, the bonus applies to 2 physical scores of your choice. See this? Does that count for arcane trickster spell levels though? Okay. The water elemental makes a cute little splash noise when they're bashing you with their 8-foot long arms. I mean,
You can't
how else
stop
would you
me.
like water to sound?
Stay behind me!
Come on, Valerie, finish that one off. Nope, it's just decided that it can't be asked trying to kill Valerie. Let's go eat the boss. Meg off.
This will hurt.
This won't kill me.
It very well might do. There we go. Tristan, let's have another heal because people are not looking spiffy. Can we get another displacement in on Amory without triggering attacks of opportunity? No, we can't, apparently. Shoot that one with a bow. Wow, Lindsay actually killed something. I'm nearly impressed, Lindsay. There. So she got a +4, which is the belt of physical perfection.
Consider me provoked.
I took out a. Right. This might be a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea. Valerie went straight into the acid pit. That hurt. Can we get a displacement on Amory? And then
Any last wishes?
run away when you can.
This is for you!
Oh, will you stop
Let's
doing
try
that?
this way.
So annoying. Just need to keep popping off those heals in the hope that eventually.
This is where I step in.
Well, hopefully we're doing more healing than
I'll fight if I have to.
that Amory is taking damage. See again, another roll of a 5. Even with dex bonuses, that wouldn't help. Valerie climbed her way out of the hole. Move over this way. Her ability, dex, belt, and cat's grace are all enhancement bonuses and won't stack.
This should
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
what I was thinking. It's one of them where it's like, I really need to sit down and try to figure Octavia out at some point. There we go. I think we have them on the ropes. Just need to do a tiny...
You forced my hand.
Go on, Tristan, get it. No. Lindsay, get another killing blow. I think haste is worn off.
You can't stop me.
Let us strike as one.
Everybody's dice rolling has also become absolutely terrible.
A calculated risk.
Come on. There we go. Curse of idiocy. So the subject suffers a -6 penalty to intellect, wisdom, and charisma scores. Oof. And a ring of protection +3, not bad. Let's get those collect. And right, first of all, yeah. Oh, that's so that's a +3 deflection. But let's say yeah, the only negative side, Valerie was kind of out of position. It would have been better if Valerie was there rather than Amory, but it's one of them 6-1 after the other because Amory was there. A lot more damage potentially was going out than if Valerie was there, but on the whole, not too shabby. Nobody went down at least. +2 resistance bonus on all saving throws and spell resist +14. See if I switch that out for where'd the ring? Oh, there's a ring. Did that increase your AC? Yes, it did. Okay. Boom, 32 AC. And then if I switch this ring out, that'll take me up to a 23 AC, and also I now have spell resistance and +2 resistance bonus on all saving throws, as well as a +1 luck bonus on all saving throws. So my saving throws are respectable. If somewhat buffed up at the moment.
As it should be.
Alright, now let's get back to the kingdom map. Come on, let me get off the screen. Do 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 do. So now I'm curious as to see if that... No, that problem's not gone away. Right, let's start the event. Apparently it's only going to take a day. How goes the search? The search goes terribly. Namely, I got distracted with other things. Plus, as well, if I want to go up there, there's not a single point. Why is that saying required companions still? Did we not finish? We finished it. Now let's head back to town. The Southern Path, I've finished all the points. I've totally forgotten that riddle. So I need to go look it up again at some point and try and figure out if I can't figure out it on the map. That came up. There was some other stuff that came up. Oh, hello. Bodek? Yes. There you go. A little something from old Bokken. If there is anything you need, I don't want anything specific. In settlements, you can just press R to rest. Okay, cool. I only hope that no one throws it away or leaves it in some old chest. I don't throw it away or leave it in an old chest. I just leave it about my person and forget to do anything about it. Here's the dwarf. Greetings, your grace. By tradition, if the ruler is a patron to a master, the master gives the generously in return. We have come to honor this tradition. Blessed defense. Thank you for the gift. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye. And no one else. Let's double check what we got. Blessed defender, heavy shield, +3. Ability to cast divine power spell once per day as a 7th level cleric. Shame nobody can read. Ooh. Oh wow, that would just be adorable. It's almost as big as she is. Alright. You can't see me. You can't see me. Dum de dum. Need to get her a weapon at some point. Oh wait, no, I took her offhand weapon off her because she goes to medium encumbrance if she's carrying anything but the basics. And she's already got a belt that increases strength. So yeah, getting that dex up, even well, Cat's Grace is Cat's Grace is a enhancement bonus, which I do believe is the same as the belt. Yeah, enhancement bonus. So with Cat's Grace, Octavia would get a +1 to the dex. It needs to go up a fair bit higher for, because it's no, it'd work out the same because of the rogue level that she's got, even if she only had 1 rogue level. Her transmutation specialization, although it's buffing dex, would only get up as high as a +5. Where is it? Yeah, physical enhancement. You get a +1 enhancement bonus for every 5 levels. 5 at level 20. So it would only be 4, so it would only get as high as pretty good cover. Oh, you mean with the shield, I hope. Yeah, it'd be great cover for Lindsay. It's just one of the things with Lindsay is I struggle to get her around the battlefield as quickly as I would like, because she's always slow because of the strength requirement. But yeah, this bonus will, so that would only top out at +4, which is exactly what the Cat's Grace gives. So it's kind of a moot point. Giving her anything but the Cat's Grace. I mean, with the belt that she's wearing, which is +2 to all of them, her current bonus is only going to be a +2, so it doesn't really matter which stat that I currently give it against. Yeah, okay, if she gets it up to a +4 and it goes into Dex, then it's as good as Cat's Grace, but I could also put it into Constitution, get more hit points, and then cast Cat's Grace on her, because it's mainly going to be coming from Lindsay, who has like 5 of those spells a day. 6 Cat's Grace a day. Did I rest at some point? Or if it's just that I'm in town. Alright, let's... Has anything exploded? No, I don't think so. Oh yeah, I'm kind of waiting for that to occur. Let's just skip a day. The Bald Hilltop has awakened again, and this time the locals are being insulted by not common beasts, but legendary magical monsters, blah blah blah. The barony managed to preserve and enjoy peace once again. Woo! Hooray me! The attacks on our barony have stopped. Did we win? We'll have to wait for news to arise. Flower in a swamp. Confirmation of interest. Confirmation of innocence. Hassuf. I have no idea who Hassuf is or wherever he is. Good points. I have my spell set up for one big encounter and won't buff till I hit a reload situation. Yeah, I'm trying to do this a little bit without reloading. I know also there's a few things like that combat encounter on the Bald Hilltop where it's I know that it's just easier for me to buff all of the way before I go into it. Rather than trying to manage buffing during the fight. I think I do need to try and figure out the displacement ones and see how long they last and see whether it's worthwhile casting them on the melee attackers. Hassuf, that's who I'm looking for. Verdell. Hassuf, hey! I've met you before. The gods were told that a half-elf named Sherrell robbed you. Is this true? Sherrell? Robbed? Can't be. He's a great young man and a capable tailor. I agreed to lend him money to start a shop at a humble rate of interest. But he didn't steal a single coin from me. I can vouch for him. Give me a moment. Hassuf pulls out a sheet of paper and scrawls out a short letter, adding a sprawling signature, then hands the letter to you. Let's see what you have. Offer up any junk. And nothing of particular interest. I mean, we've got some +2 stuff. You can't wear armor. You're wearing cloth. You're wearing +2, and you're wearing adamantine +1. But the adamantine's the main kicker in that. Okay, deal. Close. Right, and then... I know it says for me to wait until we get a response. But I have too much Wanderlust. I'm off out again. Yeah, that's part of the problem in this, is that like, it's very difficult to see it coming. It's only really the bald hilltop that I've known that's been coming to the point where it's like, yes, I can just wait off camera and be sort of like, this is how I'm going to approach it. Right, need to go to the Swamp Witch's hut for a flower. It's been nearly a year since I last went here. Fight.
In due
go
time.
forward.
I'm not afraid.
Kobolds. Great stuff. And then he exploded. I remember when this was big scary territory. It's one of them. It's nice that it does actually feel like this game has some degree of character progression. You know, there's certain games out there that I always feel, you know, you don't really progress too well. You know, if it's got a scaling
I'll try
monster
to make this
system.
swift.
So like some places, some games you can never feel safe just wandering outside your front door because you know that the monsters are going to scale, and it's always going to be a challenge, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It very much depends on the style of game, but this one, it's a style of game where eventually you get better. And apart from Valerie, who just fails to kill anything most of the time, nobody can hit her, but when even though she hits, she doesn't do damage. See, even Lindsay's more dangerous than you. Oof.
So it's come to this.
Wow. Tristan coming out with a one-shot. Right, grab these. I'm not even going to look at the weapons and figure out if any of them are masterwork. Just going to grab and go and find out how many more of these I have to do before I can start avoiding them. Leave. Yeah, that was 46 out of 100. Survivor. It's an achievement that you can get on Steam for sort of like completing 100 random encounters. Yes, I would say that that's about 46% of the way. My math might be a little bit flaky, you know? I want to break out a calculator to double check, but I think we got this one. It's roughly 46. Close enough for a council job, anyway. Bum ba bum, bum 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 bum. I think there's a flaming bastard sword in the shop or a shop. I'm looking for a flower in the middle of a swamp. This is going to be fun. It's essentially run all over the shit. Mud leaf? Nope.
Work.
That just hurt. You wouldn't happen to
All
have a
according to
flower, would
plan.
you? I didn't see anything that fancy. I'd have to double check. It's one of them. I've kind of gotten used to the idea with this game that. Oh, I wonder if it's that flower, which I might. Did I clear out that area?
May
I've
we
completed
have a
my
moment
task.
of respite?
I did clear out this area. But I didn't get the flower because it's a quest thing, which I've only just gotten. Is that couple still standing there? Yeah, it's one of them where it's like, yeah, they'll stand there until the end of time now that their little plot thing has happened. Or I could kill them. Neither of them have anything new to say, even after all this time. But yeah, that's the area of this map where it was just brutally difficult. And I've only just got the quest, so I have a feeling that it was supposed to be... I wasn't supposed to clear that area out. Before now, or at least roughly now.
I need to catch my breath.
Stop crying about it. Right. I want to try to go through this area and claim all the little resources on the map. Manage and then put Lindsay in this special role, which is Inspire Competence. Which is a +2 competence bonus on all their camp duty skills. Oh great. I mean, sure, why not?
Valerie, didn't you like stories, even as a child? I can't believe that. All children like stories.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm not a child anymore. Maybe you should grow up at last too.
Wow, brutal, Valerie. Just brutal. Yeah, the thing is, this game doesn't really do very well on the whole pointers as to what you're supposed to be able to achieve. So it does very much feel a lot of the time as like, oh, you can go here, and it's like, because I can go there, does that mean that I'm
don't you think?
supposed to be able to complete there? And resting, more resting.
When I talk about slavery and freedom, you get that face, like I saw on the other slaves. But you've never been in shackles, have you?
Each of us is shackled in our own way. Some shackles are just harder to see than others.
I need somebody slightly more cheerful in this group. My God. Oh, kingdom message. Random stuff. The Master of Pain. A travelling interrogator disaster. The warden rejected the priestess. In response, she kidnapped a young girl from the capital and tortured her to death. The subjects are enraged and the criminal escaped punishment. Creston, what did you do? Alright, rest in peace. Oh yeah. Creston handle the burial of a favoured person. I need more crisis points. I think I get like one of these a month or one of these a week. I've been spending them a little frivolously recently. What's that little monster on the kingdom map or on that? It's where Tristan is currently. Yeah, Tristan's currently doing the rest in pieces. I'm not entirely sure why it's a monster token. Yeah, it's just indicating an event. Although, to be fair, it's one of them where it's like they don't seem to bear much relevance to what's actually going on. Honor and duty is marked by a tree. Rest in peace is marked by a monster token, and this is also a tree for protector of the weak. So they're just quasi-random, and I don't really think it makes too much difference as to where they are, because you don't have to worry about how long it's going to take to get there, how long it's going to take to get back. So it's just a little bit of a indicator that something's going on. When you level up the stats, was that related to... Was that a question, or was that a... Oh! When I earn crisis points, maybe. Cool, okay. So maybe I shouldn't have been spending them like candy. Claim. But yeah, the game doesn't give you much in the way of hints as to what to do, where and when. Divine is up. Events message from Jamandi, which I do believe is related to the plot thing. Three Pine Islet.
May we have a moment of respite?
No, you may not. Now you may.
Gather our strength.
All right, new line. They walked without fear, hoisting shining steel above their heads. And they walked, and they walked. When were they going to get anywhere already, huh?
Kinda wonder if that's her having a, Yeah, it's not the spending of the BP, it's the spending of the crisis points. So if we just nip to the kingdom, a lot of these things, when it's related to somebody, in the middle there you can spend crisis points, which give them a +5 to their check. So that's a 12, DC is 21, so it's a 61% chance. I burn 5 crisis points on it, makes it a 17, it brings it down to a 15% chance of failure. So, I mean, if he fails this, the loyalty might go down a little bit, but the rarity of the crisis points is the problem. Never spend them on opportunities, only problems. I keep forgetting to notice the difference between the two. I think, yeah, it says there opportunity and problem. But I've not really paid enough attention when I'm assigning these things. I just look at it like the chance to succeed, who it is, and how dire the situation sounds. Because if it sounds pretty dire, it's like, I'm going to burn all the crisis points until we resolve it. But yeah, I need to rank up in order to regain a crisis point. BPs I'll just spend like candy, but the crisis points, yeah, you should probably keep all of them. I need to get my divine up at some point. I really need to go back to the capital, but I don't really want to do it without sorting out this town up here first. Problems higher priority when choosing how to assign advisors. Opportunity lowest. Why do I have a feeling that this is just going to lead exactly the same place? I don't know, there's a pip there.
I tire.
Go there. Alright, let's see if that needs resolving before we rest. 3 fingers, problem. You're the only one who's available. So yeah, there it says 45, and then I can click on that, and it +5, so it'd take it up to a 70. The thing is, there's also the fact that if I send Amri to go deal with it, she'll get a +5 straight off the bat, making her a 70%. Probably gonna leave it because as it's a problem, I probably should be a little more careful to do it. Because if you fail an opportunity, it doesn't have a negative, you just lose something. Whereas if you fail a problem, it can have very negative impact, I believe. Another random encounter. Woo!
Resting would be nice.
To victory!
Where are you running off to? Can't believe we're getting attacked by tiny giant
Any
centipedes.
last wishes?
Less than 7 hit points. Or 7 or less hit points.
Bring it!
Really? So yeah, this is precisely the problem that me and J Station have talked about in the past, where it's like, you get some random encounters and they're... Why are you going
I
so
won't
slow?
let you down.
You have no good reason to be moving so slow.
Follow my lead.
The random encounters, you know, if it's at a table with a GM, they roll on the random encounter table and it's like, okay, you've got a couple of centipedes. Alright, you managed to massacre the centipedes. Here's 18 experience
I'm
each.
hungry. When we stop?
When it comes to a digital game, there's no thinking behind the random encounters. It just, yeah, I could turn off the turn-based, but it's one of them where I'm very lackadaisical in these things. If
I need to catch my breath.
I start turning on and off the turn-based mode, then I'm likely to get very
In due time.
loose with it and end up leaving it off for a lot more than I should, and just end up running through the game, slaughtering my way through everything, and only turning back on turn-based mode when I actually everybody gets killed because I wasn't paying enough attention. And that's not really the way that I want to play the game. I kind of want to play it semi-seriously. But at the same token, it's all like, that literally, it was 2 NPCs, one ran up to the other and killed it.
Resting would be nice, don't you think?
I just feel like it could do with some kind of calculation happening in the background for the computer to go, this is a trivial task. Therefore, just assign the experience. Oh yeah, everybody's really fatigued. That might be why everybody's moving slowly. I brought confirmation of his innocence from Hassif. All accusations of theft are false. So that's how this is going to go. Pardon me, Your Grace, but better safe than sorry. Here, let's set you free, lad. Be careful now. You should keep your eyes peeled for with enemies like you, or like yours. There's hope in the half-elf's eyes. His voice trembles with awe. You really did it. For me. I've never seen anyone so honorable. My name is Sharel, Your Grace. I am pleased to meet you. If there's any way I can repay you... Oh, wait. Do you need the services of a good tailor? Not really. Yeah, trust me, I can work wonders with needle and thread. It's only... I can't afford a workshop of my own. If I can find a workplace, even out here... I don't feel like returning to the capital after all that's happened. Please help me set up a workshop, and if you're in need of a decent tailored cloth, I'll make it worth your while. May the gods protect you. And hands this guy a flower. Is this the flower you were looking for? It is beautiful. The elf reverently accepts the flower from your hands. Thank you. You have helped me so much. Here, take my spear. My skill is nothing compared to the beauty of nature. But who knows? Perhaps you will find it useful. Tell me, my friend, is there a place where I could settle? I do not wish to leave this place. If you agree to work for me, I'll build your workshop here. You'd really do that for me? I have no idea who this guy is. I have no idea what his skills and profession is. He came here, wanted a flower. I traipsed off to the swamp and got it for him. And now I'm offering him a place to live. A workshop, in fact. I have no idea what he is capable of. If he's capable of anything. He certainly can't fight. Rant over. Well, if you're offering me, then I gladly accept. It's a deal. Alright, I have to go. Bye! I mean, that guy I can kind of understand. Just. Everybody else, maybe not so much. Yay, everybody can run again. Masterwork bouquets. Flower workshop. Perhaps. But at the same token, he's not confirmed that he's capable of doing anything with the flower. It's just like, I want a flower. Bring it to me. Alright, here's a flower. I would like to stay here. Alright. Pitch a tent. Something like that. I don't know. Is it a herbalist house? Cheryl's sewing shop. Oh, Kimmel's shop. The humble shop of a local artisan, +1 to the economy when adjacent to a tavern or a longhouse. And +1 to the economy when adjacent to a tavern or a longhouse. So, if I put the tavern... I mean... +1 when adjacent to a tavern. Right. How many build points do I have? I got 130. I should be able to build a tavern. Shop, shop. Kimmel shop. Again, it doesn't say, it's just Kimmel shop. Right. Tavern in the middle. Shop. There. Sewing shop there. Kimmel shop there. How many? I got 30. Great stuff. Build a wall. It's going to look very pretty when it's done. To be fair, I'm still waiting on the mayor of my town to complete the tasks I've assigned him. I thought you were playing Outer Worlds. Or are you actually talking about real life where you've assigned your mayor a bunch of tasks and he's not really dealt with anything? Because if you're talking about real world, then it's like, yeah, you're not probably going to get much luck with that one ever. Unless you know the mayor really well. I'll be impressed if you do. Oh, there's a road there? Oh, it goes over there. I don't know. I'm just cleaning the map now. I like all the little dots joining up.
I need to catch my breath.
An Ancient Curse Part 4. The visitor waits in the castle. It's time to discuss the events related to the Bald Hilltop. An Ancient Curse Part 4. There's 231 days to go. Great stuff. Okay. I need one of you two to finish it. I've got plenty of time. Okay, yeah, great stuff. Hit your eyeball. Equivalent of the that guy asking the Baron to fetch a flower for him. The thing is, though, it's like it's super unrealistic, but it's like I might as well do it because I'm not really got much else to do because the game doesn't really tie you up too much to like you need to be in charge of your keep and stay there until it's over.
Listen, Octavia, where you're from, do they also treat women like garbage?
I don't remember my home too well, but in Numeria, where I grew up, they treated everyone like dirt, men and women alike. I don't even know which one's worse.
Let's get back to the castle. Okay. Oh no, random encounter. Well, they've got a bard at least. Who isn't particularly smart. An archer. Again, not so smart. Can you charge that guy? Yeah, charge that guy. And make him explode. Yeah? Nearly made him explode.
This is where I step in.
Make him explode. Oh, okay. Can't be asked hauling it and selling it. Leave. Oh, we're nearly up to 50. Nearly. Almost. Come on, we can make it back to Loachingdale today. See, this is also, you know, the glade in the wilderness, the overgrown pool, the lonely mill, the 3 Pine Islet. These are all random places on the map where it's like, I don't know whether I'm supposed to be going there just to do random things because, you know, I'm an adventurer, or whether I'm supposed to wait until the game sends me there. To grind my levels up a little bit, because I can't remember the last time I leveled it up properly. Your Grace, we have urgent news from Jamandi Aldor. Your Grace, we have urgent news from Jamandi Aldori. The Sword Lord is asking for aid with an unusual problem. Here is her letter. Please read it when you have a moment. Caron, I have a problem and no one else to turn to but you. I have told someone to travel to the town south of Restov, Varnhold. The town was founded by Mager Varn. You met him at the reception to celebrate your new title. Recently, Recently, I've stopped getting reports from him. I didn't pay much attention to it, but in this past week, not a single traveller, merchant or messenger from Varnhold has shown up in Restov. No one knows what's happened to the town. If I were you, I'd make sure I was ready for this journey. The plains of Dunswood are dangerous. Also, we have yet to find out if what was that cut off communication with Varnhold. An attack, arcane magic, or some epidemic or plague. I would have gladly investigated the matter, but the current state of affairs dictates I refrain from dealing with this personally. I'm counting on you and your help. Head to the Dunswood and find out what or who stands behind the vanishing of Varnhold. You're a friend and ally, Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori. Lady Aldori asked you to head to Varnhold at once. I know, I read the fucking letter. The barony is led by Mager Van. Yes, I've met the guy. A brave soul who carved out a settlement in the wilderness. Until recently, he eagerly and frequently relayed to the Sword Lords his many successes. But when the letters suddenly ceased, as you expect, this is a matter of some concern. Jamandi Aldori expects your help with the matter. Yes, I know. I read the letter. For she knows your good relations with Mager. She asks that you go to Varnhold and find out why it has fallen silent. Yes, I know. I read the letter. What do we know of Varnhold? The barony is much like your own. It was established by a mercenary, Mager Varn. He got his title at the same event you did. Mager Varn is the third or fourth son in his family, so he couldn't claim his father's inheritance. It looks like he hoped to establish a settlement on his own and gain wealth and prosperity that way. Why would the Sword Lords care for Varnhold? Jamandi Aldori seeks an alliance with anyone who has proven to be trustworthy, even if only a little, considering that Varnhold is the closest thing to an outpost on the east edge of the River Kingdoms. It's also useful for her keeping an eye on the Dunswood and the surrounding areas. Requires chaotic. What do you think happened to Varnhold? A riot, a rebellion, but if that was the case, there would be refugees. Whatever happened, it must have been sudden indeed. Perhaps bandit attack, barbarian, a plague. Whatever it was, no one outside Varnhold seems to know what happened. Maybe Varn simply decided to stop dealing with Restov. Judging by Aldori's letter, the silence doesn't seem voluntary. Otherwise, at least one person would have reached a neighbour and spoken out about what happened there. Varnhold isn't far off. We should find out what happened there before the same fate befalls us too. Then it is time to gather a party and head to Varnhold, Your Grace. Captain fucking obvious. If it's your if it's your baronage, usually shouldn't be too hard outside. Some might be. If you go too far, you get turned around. How do you know when something is important? When the NPCs tell you what's written in the letter that they personally handed to you, that's when it's important. Yeah, they'll get a quest item. They'll get a quest icon when they become important, but I'm pretty sure I've been to places without quest icons, and then at a later point, been given a quest to go there and deal with something, and it's all like, I've already cleared that place out, and you go there again, and there's something else. And also, I've gone to places where it's been massively outside of my power bracket. And I always wondered, it's all like, have I come here too early? If I have been, where was the warning label on all of this? Or am I just not good enough at the game to be able to complain? You know, I've not come across anything where I've not been able to eventually manage to figure out how to deal with it, and or sort of like looped around. It's like, I got 5 things to do. I'll stop beating my head against a wall there, go around, level up, and come back, and also might have a better idea on my way around. Come back, and it's like, aha, here we go. It's easy. Amazing, you managed to save your barony from an invasion of monsters from the First World, but you were not able to protect it from the attentions of the First World's most powerful denizens. Believe it or not, but Domwana barony has been chosen as the next location of the inconsequent debates. The inconsequent debates, what's that? A curious phenomenon that isn't very well known. They say it's based on a bet made by the eldest, the ruler of the First World, quite a long time ago. One day, one of them sent out a delegation of Fae to Golorian. They announced where their competition would take place. Don't let the name fool you. It's anything but debates. It's a contest. The contest begins as soon as they have enough participants. The contests and reward are different each time, although each time is a stretch. Only 3 such occasions are known over thousands of years. Anyway, it's happening again, and this time the reward is a chance to ask any question whatsoever from the host, the competition's mastermind. This creature, whoever it is, speaks on behalf of the eldest. Do you see why we can't miss such a chance? I don't. Tell me. Just think, you have the opportunity to ask a question of the host, a messenger of the self-appointed deity of the First World, and demands an answer. The gnomes originally ventured from the First World, lost their immortality because of it, and received our curse in exchange, the bleaching. No one has discovered the reason of it, and none can stave off its consequences. But if we've managed to win the competition... Do you know anything about these debates, or are we completely in the dark here? You never know what mad ideas the Fae have cooked up. I only know one condition. Only teams of 3 are allowed to participate. Can participation be dangerous? Considering that the Fae involved, absolutely. But if the chronicles are true, no one has died in any previous debate. Who do you think we should take as our third? I think we should take Lindsay. Something tells me the Fae are not likely to hold competitions in rope pulling and beer drinking, but the skills of a bard might come in handy. Besides, we should give the young lady a chance to channel some of that energy. I can't believe I'm saying this. There's terrible things going on around here, and I'm about to engage in a debate with the Fae. But we can't pass up this opportunity. I agree to participate. Great, I'll mark the spot on your map where the competition will take place. The sooner we arrive, the better. The Fae Lords won't wait forever. Gnomes! They're crazy! Hooray, we did it! What? Oh, yes, that thing. Another attack has... I forgot what we did for a moment there. It's an attack on Bald Hilltops that we dealt with. Another attack has been repelled and the barony is stronger than ever. Your grateful subjects even brought a gift to honor this outstanding success. 8,600 gold. How loaded are my subjects? Or how many are there? Unfortunately, now is not the time to rest. While everyone was preparing for the last attack, I was looking for a way to overcome the curse. I read some ancient books, talked to the locals, and then I had a word with our storyteller. And we decided, well, he'll tell it better. The storyteller clears his throat. I am the keeper of stories, your grace, and I have amassed a respectable collection over my long life. There are, of course, stories of curses among them, ancient and dark, having taken thousands of lives, destroyed kingdoms, and brought down... Well, of course our curse isn't really... our curse isn't exactly a real curse. We think that someone specific there is someone specific behind these attacks. Oh, I'm sorry. Realizing she'd interrupted the storyteller, Lindsay turns bright red. Tristan turns pale. It's not a curse? Then what is it? If it isn't a curse, then what could it be? We don't know yet. But that part doesn't matter. What? Lindsay waves her hand carelessly. What's important is we're finally making some real progress. I would imagine that the person behind these attacks is someone harboring great evil against you and your barony. I would not be surprised if it was the same adversary who was behind the bloom. I agree. After the last attack, I got the feeling that the owlbears and manticores were here as revenge for what we did in the ever-blooming flower. I'm more interested in defeating it than understanding it. With swords and spells, of course. You can't chop up an ancient curse to bits, but I'm sure the villain behind these attacks would suffice. Lindsay, I think our Baron is asking whether we yet know the name of our adversary. Alas, the answer to that question is no, at least for now. Personally, I believe this is the work of some Fae. I recognize their hand, so to speak. Whoever or whatever has caused these attacks, I'm sure they will continue. We must be ready to repel the next one. That's exactly what we'll do. Sooner or later the villain will show himself. Once he slips up, we can finally punish him for all the trouble he's caused. I didn't expect such vitriol from you, Lindsay. In any case, I would advise hearing this villain out before punishing him. We still have no idea why this enemy has targeted us in particular. Well, I'm sure we'll know our foe's face soon enough. We've repelled his attacks 3 times now. He must be reaching the limit of his patience. We won't get away with he won't get away with this forever. The first chapter does really have an order it wants you to do things in. Sherelle, good day, your grace. I have received a curious reminder of my status as court artisan. A few preachers have visited my workshop, praising you and expressing their gratitude with the warm welcome they've received in your lands. After they left, I decided to make this contribution to our common cause. A draping veil of prowess. Here's a special gift for you, your grace. I hope it will prove useful. Have I even finished building your workshop yet? I guess so. Here's the other one. Greetings, your grace. As you know, I was born in... I was not aware of that. You had zero backstory to you. You just turned up, asked for a flower, then a place to stay, and I gave them to you. I was born in Cronin, the most wonderful land that has ever existed, and yet I must say, living in your country is a pleasure for me. The people here seem to be content. They trust you and trust me as your court craftsman. It is important to know whose patron is and how he treats his subjects. Bulwark. A fine thing to share in enjoyment and amusement. Look, this is a gift for you, my baron. What the fuck is Bulwark? I'm guessing that's a shield of some sort. Or
This
maybe
time,
armor.
the disaster didn't hit us, but our neighbors. Varnhold, a small town east of our barony, had been deserted in an instant.
The price of curiosity. Oh no, that's that one. Okay, right. Everything. Okay, Bulwark is a heavy shield. So this random guy that wanted a flower, we know two things. He can make shields, and he comes from Cronin. That is it. Draping Veil of Prowess. Armor class 0. Electricity resistance 10, cold resistance 10, +2 deflection bonus to AC, and the ability to cast enlarge person spell once per day as wizard forth. What are you currently wearing? Electric aura, which is +2 DC bonus to electrical spells. I think I would prefer you in that. And that's a deflection bonus, so that can come off of you. Do we have another ring? No, we don't. We don't have any other rings for you at the moment. Or do we? We don't. We got a broken ring. We got rings broken into many fragments, which we still need 2 more fragments for. We have a crown, which is unidentified. How are things going in here unidentified? It's like there's some kind of anti-thief who just comes in and randomly sticks things in my chest. There was something there the other day. I can't remember what it was now, but I don't think it was that. I mean, I'm not entirely sure why I was keeping that, if I was keeping it. But they're unidentified. Everything that goes through my inventory gets identified by somebody. So I don't think I put them in there. And I don't know why I'm looking over there. You're over here. Bum 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 bum. I just stepped out of my keep, right? I don't trust what's going on here. Lawful. Okay, I'm not. So I was like, I wanted to check how much experience I got. I don't think the spell targeting AC light range is difficult to check unless it's tied to spell resistance. No, it'd be more of a saving throws, which is one of the reasons why, because it's only really like the Loaching Dale has gone really downhill. Or really upmarket. I mean, you could take the druid's point of view. I don't. It still recognizes I'm in town. But yeah, it'd be more other spells like Lightning Bolt, which would saving throw reflex for half that would increase. And any like that, rather than the raise. Because the raise target AC, which is +2 to hit or attack roll, depending on the exact phrasing. Okay, hello, Guardian of the Bloom.
Where are you rushing off to, my hound? To face your own death?
Hello again. The familiar silhouette of a nymph appears before you. Her face is still, but you see thunderclouds behind in the depths of her eyes. Why are you here? Going to try and kill me again?
Why am I here? Kill you? Not today. Believe it or not, but I came here without evil intentions. I've been watching you, my hound. You've escaped my trap. You've destroyed my beautiful Everbloom flower. Such a strong will to live in such a fragile, mortal creature. Once, long ago, it hurt me to see flowers being torn apart by the wind. But today I watch you thrashing like a moth caught in a spider web, and I cannot turn my eyes away.
I do think at the end of the day she's the big bad end guy. I'm not sure, and don't spoil it if you do know, but she seems to be cropping up a lot, and she seems to have some ancient curse on her, so I think everything's tied into pointing towards her. It's an interesting storytelling technique if it is, because it's like introducing her is pretty much in the first act. It's like, hi, yes, I need you to help me. I don't think I'll be disappointed if it is her. It's just an odd way of telling a story, if you ask me. If I'm a mark caught in a spider's web, then what then are you? The spider? So you were the one behind the bloom. What have I or my subjects ever done to you? I visited the first world and learned something about you. About your curse. How about telling me your real name? The trouble in Varnhold. Do you have something to do with it? I ask you again, why are you here? Give me an honest answer. It seems pointless to have a conversation of hints and hidden meanings. I have nothing more to tell you. Farewell. Let's go with, I have visited the first world and learned something about you. And about your curse.
How? Though there's no point in asking. My untamed homeworld has many miracles to offer. One can never know what they will reveal, or to whom. So, what do you think of the proud, bitter, fallen nymph now, my hound?
Sounds like you're in trouble yourself. Stop killing me and my subjects and maybe I'll find a way to help you.
You want to aid the storm that strikes you and your lands? Help? Why? Though I do not want to know. You will help me either way, voluntarily or involuntarily. With your death.
I have no intentions of dying. Also, I have a save and reload. Just watch my Twitch. You'd find out that if I die, I just reload. So, you know, your threat is kind of hollow. If I'm a moth caught in a spider's web, then what are you? What then are you? The spider?
I am the web itself. The moment you took your first step on the road of the stolen lands, you fell under my power.
So, you were the one behind the bloom. What have I or my subjects ever done to you?
There was a time when I used to ask myself the same question. What had I and my 1,000 breaths ever done to them? Why had I to endure this? You're wrong to think that your problems began with you. The ever-blooming flower was created long before your barony was founded. I prepared my weapon long in advance, having no idea what I would turn it against. Everything has a price. Thousands of lives must be turned to dust for a single act of forgiveness.
How about telling me your real name?
Names can be weapons in capable hands. You've no need to know my name. No need.
No, I need to destroy you, which might require your name, so I ask. The trouble with Varnhold, do you have something to do with it?
I can answer, but will you believe me? I have nothing to do with it. But I know who is responsible. I won't tell you, though. Run now towards your death, Hound. Run, Hound, run! I want to see you stumble.
You'll be disappointed. Why are you here? Give me an honest answer. It seems pointless to have this conversation of hints and hidden meanings.
Why shouldn't the mistress visit her pet? Farewell, my hound. You have no idea what powers you've awakened, and now you voluntarily rush into their jaws. If you run your blade down their throats, I won't be disappointed. If you perish, I'll have forgotten you by dawn.
So this entire thing was ultimately pointless. Bye, bitch. See if there's anything to loot. I'm pretty sure if it's she sounds a little bit unhinged
That is
more
not
than
far.
anything else, and yeah, it's a very powerful voice acting. A little bit disappointed they didn't do more with the voice acting in the game, if you ask me.
As it should be.
I appreciate that getting every line read out is expensive. And in some cases it's all, you know, all the random peasants that you meet, and it's all like, if you're not careful, you end up doing the whole arrow to the knee issue of there are certain phrases that will be read out in doesn't matter how many voices, but because it sticks out so poignantly
All according to plan.
as a sort of like phrase, like taking an arrow to the knee, it can wear a little bit thin at times. Flaming Bastard Sword +1 versus Cold Iron Longsword +1. Oh, that's actually a Bastard Sword. But it's not Cold Iron. That's part of the problem. Although that's actually... No, that is better. Yes, it is better. I shall buy that weapon. Why do you have 1,000 quarterstaffs? Staves. Yeah. Belt of Incredible Dexterity +6. It's only a mere 70,000 gold pieces. How the smeg has this guy not been mugged? Ooh, I can actually buy both of these. Just. See, I'm tempted to get that, if not just for myself. Although that is physical form. See, this is the thing, it's like, that's physical might, which is strength and constitution, which really helps. And that's Dex and Constitution, which really helps. That's my +2 belt of perfection. Because all of them help Valerie. If just a little. Everybody else just kind of has random belts. And you've got a physical perfection. Constitution. Thing is, for 70,000. Ooh, alluring charisma +6. Vast intellect, because that would boon you a little bit. Really expensive. But I think I'll just take the sword and give that to Valerie. Yep, you're still okay with weight, thanks to the hat. Kind of want to keep hold of that one just in case because of the cold iron resistance. Occasionally that'll crop up and it's like, that's a kick in the nuts. I wonder if now that they're a little more established they will be able to do more in Wrath of the Righteous. I'm tempted to say they'll be able to do a little more with it. It depends. I don't know how well established Kingmaker made them and how much money they actually made out of it. I don't know what their profit margins is. I've not cared to really look. One of the things that I will say is, though, I don't think one of the advantages that they actually have is the fact that they're using the same rule set. And as far as I can make out, they're using the same base engine. So they don't have to invest in, people rewriting the rules, and so they might actually be able to do. It depends on where they choose to spend the money, because they could spend the money improving the engine, adding in even more classes, more spells, and more features to the game based on the mechanics of it. Which would be interesting and slightly overwhelming. It'd be even more overwhelming if they did that. Or they could take all the money and invest that into Wrath of the Righteous. They're going to have to invest some into the mechanics of the game because there's an element to Wrath of the Righteous that includes mass combat, which I don't think is in Pathfinder Kingmaker. And this is only from what I guess at by going to Paizo's website and looking at the player guide for Wrath of the Righteous. It seems to cover mass combat rules. So yeah, they could. There's potential, and this is the thing. It depends on where they choose to spend the money and how much money they've actually got to go at this. I'd be curious to actually dig up their Pathfinder Kingmaker Kickstarter and their Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous Kickstarters and see how much more or less money they got from the Kickstarter. Because one of the things is the Kickstarter did well. I think I heard somewhere they were adding rotating the screen. You mean... I'm guessing you don't mean actual rotation of the screen. I am guessing you mean you can actually look at this from multiple angles. Because if they did a fully 3D modeling of it and actually allowed you to rotate the camera around, that would be a bit of a godsend in some places, because the thing is, I don't know, I think they need to do, because I'm not sure if there's anywhere appropriate.
In due time.
See, that there especially if that tree was a lot higher. There's some areas of the map where there's massive tall trees, and it's like you're trying to peer around the tree to see where you can click. And if you click somewhere, it's like it does that, where it's like you're actually clicking on the tree and you run off to God knows where. It'd be nice, and the main problem with that to a certain degree is actually it'd look nice and it'd help. But at the same token, you know, it's going back to what I was saying before, is like they could take all the money that they get and invest it in more voice acting, more features of the game, and really pad that out. Whereas doing that, you know, just being able to rotate the screen, it's adding a lot, you know, none of the resources for, well, it depends on how well they did the resources in the first place. Because the thing is, because the camera is stuck here and you can only see a little bit around it depending on whether you're this side of a tree or this side of a tree, you never get to see the back of a tree. So all of their artwork, all of their current models, is completely missing the backside. Potentially. Now, they might have done it as a full 3D model and made the back look as well as the good, so they could rotate it and drop it in place. But does that include everything? There's houses, there's a keep, there's churches, there's vendors and their stalls. Did they actually do a fully 3D model of it? If they did, then they can reuse those resources. Great, it saves them money. Now, of course, they're going to have to do new resources because it's in a slightly different place and there's different artistic things that they want to do with it. You know, from what I know of Wrath of the Righteous, it's all surrounding the world wound, which is a demonic, hellish place, maybe abyssal. Whereas this campaign seems to be centered around, you know, the forested areas that we're in, and their added effect is the first world, so it's all very overgrown vegetation and the like. So they're going to have to do some work there, but, you know, not being able to use anything because they didn't do the part of the thing that the players would see, that's going to require a lot of reworking, and also, you know, once you actually see something in 3 dimensions, unless the artist is very good, it can do weird and wonderful things, because all of a sudden you look at it from the reverse angle and you realize that the roof that you thought was flat is suddenly comes to realization that it was actually shaped like that, and it kind of breaks the illusion, so you have to scrap the entire resource and start again. It might look being able to rotate will be great, but at the same token, it's economy. I've got a expert mountaineering. Kaliki is an expert in mountaineering. Her knowledge could be useful while traversing mountain ridges. Double movement speed in mountainous terrain. Jubileust, do we want to do that? I mean, it could help get around. Seems a bit expensive just for getting around. How many BP can I currently purchase? Nearly 2,000. Sure, why not? Let's do this sooner rather than later. It's a terrible idea, but I'm doing it anyway. Well, what's this? 500 for 4 BP a week. No, let's do this. Start the project. I really could add. Okay. Right, now that I'm out of terrible, terrible places, let's go off to Varnhold. Doop doop doo, doop doop doo. Still saying that it requires companions, which is a bit weird. That's the other place. Stop. Oh no, it always happens, because Amory and Tusk, Gutter's lair, it still says requires companions, and that was dealt with ages ago. Just one of them weird things where it's like, probably is always required that they go there. A shallow gulch. No, let's head to Varnhold. All your characters are fatigued. Yes, let's rest before rushing in there.
I'm looking at our gang, and I'm wondering, how the hell are we still alive yet? Everyone's so smart, it makes me sick. Writing smart books, fancy prayers to the gods. I only punch first and then sort it out. I guess that's why we're still alive.
I should really put Amory down and pick somebody else. Maybe Eckhunt as a good person. I do wish that was not like that. Okay, Varnhold. End of a location. Terrible things are about to occur. Probably.
Follow my lead.
The entrance is empty. The entrance of the empty tavern is still smells of spilt ale. Oh, Spriggans.
This will hurt.
Regret life choices. I regret life choices.
Do not falter!
You know anything about them yet? Oh, we do. We don't have many hit points. Oh, the rogues don't. Small initiative, blah blah blah, nothing about no immunities or anything. They're also coming up as gnome. They also refuse to stay small. But they explode, just like everything else.
Serves you right.
That guy has some damage reduction, which is not pleasant. Here, have some fire to the face. Damage reduction on that? Damage reduction is 3. Cold energy reduction is 4 and 4. For fire and cold. Okay, it's not terrible. I mean, you've got a lot of hit points, whatever you've got. 103. Yeah. Tristan, take out the rogue.
Sarenrae, be generous to them, for I am not.
Right. Could you
Let's
die?
try this way. Ha!
It's one of the moments where I should have done a flibbity flop, delayed my turn.
Tear them apart!
behind Valerie, because I think that would have done a lot more damage.
You deserved it.
See? Lots more damage.
Onwards!
Yeah, I'm looking at the whole narrative of it. It's all I'm not overly fussed about changing people in and out for the whole DPS side of things. The Heart of Era. The wearer of the necklace becomes immune to fatigue and exhaustion and can activate the necklace to surround himself with an aura of nothingness. While the aura is activated, creatures adjacent to the wearer take 2d6 damage per round and must succeed a DC 17 reflex saving throw, or to avoid becoming fatigued. I mean, that's weird. But seeing as though everybody else is here,
Done and done.
the big black bird is watching your every move. And then flies off. Yeah, it will be a great lone wolf item.
What's that?
What's what? Oh, that. I think. Sling stuff? Vengeance of the Meek. Even though everybody else is dead around here, I'm claiming that everything is fair game to be looted. Oh yes, they've got a fort, don't they?
That was easy.
Numerous tracks of humanoids, both small and gigantic, to and from the fort.
That is not far.
Right, everybody get back in order. They say that there's gigantic tracks over this way. To Varnhold Stockade. But yeah, I was more thinking about dropping Amory from the narrative point of view, because she's a bit aggressive, and as far as alignments go, she really doesn't fit in with the group. Where's our alignment thing? So yeah. I'm there. Which means best places is there, not so much there. And everybody's sort of like the top end of a scale, which is kind of where I want them to be, but the Amory is all the way over there, which is very close to being diametrically opposed. You know, it quite literally is just for the narrative's sake. It's not so much for the mechanical sense of damage, which is potentially one of the reasons why I do keep her around. Is I prefer Amory over Ekund for a off tank.
Give them what they deserve.
Swarms are a pain in the ass. Tristan, I need you to throw a fireball right there. I think I took care of most of them. That took the care of the rest. During litters of grounds around this former granary, the sacks have been used to hold supplies and have been torn apart and emptied. The bones and other leftovers are scattered in the dirt. Realize Arisha that Arnhold's first of Arnhold's potters. He only killed villains. Killed by a tree, one less fledgling rogue. Never finished that bridge. I know that I'm probably supposed to be heading up to a stockade, but I just want to poke around and see if there's anything interesting to be had. This house is empty. Okay. Stockade it is. Do 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 do. Live.
In due time.
There's a duck. Is it a doom duck? A duck of doom?
Enemy approaching.
Ferocious one. Maybe I shouldn't run around so much. Oh good. They're attacking Valerie. Oh, 17 to hit. Wow.
Stay behind me!
Head's concealment. Who's this? Lindsay.
Any last wishes?
Terrible things are afoot. Let's move you back a tiny scooch. Murder that Morgan. That's the thing. It attacked Valerie, so Valerie should be threatening it. But apparently it's not.
Go down!
Blindness? Where did the blindness come
Let
from?
us strike as one!
This is where I step in.
I want you to back up behind Emery. Emery can fall down as well. I think I've actually got to remove blindness already. Yeah, I do.
Consider me provoked.
See, look at that. She needed a 4 to hit the Worgen, and it was a 2.
A calculated risk.
You're not threatening it because you're blind. That's why. There's an option like that pauses on spotting an enemy. You can get a bit annoying pausing as each new enemy is revealed, but if you don't engage. Yeah, it's more of a case of so I should just be more careful and stop running around, especially when it's all I do it for a while and my party ends up out of order.
Serves you right.
But it's one of them for the most part. It's like, things usually sort themselves out fairly quickly anyway. Let's miss again. Ooh, you actually hit.
This will hurt.
Come on. We're nearly done. Could you stop knocking me down? That would be much appreciated. Ha, you missed. Okay, can you get over to Valerie and clear her blindness?
I'll fight if I have to.
And a natural 1.
Let's try this way. Left yourself open.
There we go. Sneak attack's back in play.
Do not falter!
Any last wishes?
Skin, loot, press tab.
That is not far.
How am I doing on the experience? Which I kind of just want to level up so that I can sort some stuff out, but at the same token it's one of them where it's like it really does feel like you're making some degree of progression when you level up. And it just feels like I've not leveled up in an absolute age. Here, look under the rock. Find a coin. This spot of the wall has been damaged by a fallen birch tree. The logs, the top of the logs used to construct the wall have been broken. The logs themselves stand askew. A thin birch tree leans against it. A dexterous enough individual could probably climb up the trunk and get over the wall. Let's leave that alone for now.
Follow my lead.
So the last time I did something like that, it was in
Can you make
the...
an epic pose? I need inspiration.
I've done it again. Yeah, can
This
just
should
get
do
up
it.
there. Stick your head around that corner. Let's see what... I've turned the corner and there's a puppy.
A calculated risk.
This is where I step in. You can't stop me.
But yeah, look at that. It's like, even if she does hit, it's like acid 2, 3d6 for 6 points of damage. 1d3 plus 1, that's 2. So she rolled a natural 1 on that and then got an average of 2 for the 3d6.
Onwards!
Her dice rolls are just terrible. You know, just... I appreciate that she might be, you know, so like somebody who can do a lot of damage, but she just so infrequently hits, and when she does hit,
You forced
the
my
damage
hand.
isn't great. I mean, I suppose, yes, it can be buffered up a little bit by the fact that, when it comes to that, it's... yeah, there are bows that could be
This
better.
will hurt.
The main reason why I leave her on the
Let's
acid
try
splash is
this
because
way.
there's so many things that have damage
Serves you
reduction
right.
against physical attacks. You know, what kind of bow does she have? I don't even think she's got any. Yeah, she's got a short bow. A short bow.
Consider me provoked.
Are you? Oh, you've just stepped over the bleeding line. Just move over there. Let's spread it out a little. Spriggan Raider. They don't very much look like gnomes. But anyway. Valerie move.
Stay behind me!
But yeah, the acid damage will get past most of the damage reduction. Or standard damage reduction, unless it's acid immunity, of course. But just on average, on 3d6 plus 1d4, that should be 2.5, well, 3, 7, 10, 10 and a half, 13, 14 for the plus 1. Should be doing 14 points of damage. She did 8. On average. And it's just, you know, if she misses with the touch attack, it's not going to be that much better. Yes, but the sneak attack is going to be exactly the same. Damage reduction, you know, against these guys, if we just take a quick squint at some of these people, well, not all of them, I assume now. Do we have a barbarian still in the field, Raider? Do you have anything? Nope. The barbarian that came up before had damage reduction, which is just overridden by acid damage. Right, you're next to that.
This should do it.
Make them explode. So yeah, I mean, she's doing. So what is the dex bonus? Open character screen for her. She's got a dex bonus of +4. So yeah, okay. 1d6 dex is 5 to 10 versus 2 to 4. So it's almost double there. But when it comes to the fact that it's be so like 10 for 3d6, thereabouts, is the average point. You know, going from 15 to 20 and risking damage reduction, or acid, which is 12 to 14 average, a no damage reduction is, just for me, it's like, it's better because I forget stuff all of the time. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Anne-Marie is still running around using the wrong weapon because I was supposed to switch it back ages ago. No, she's using the right weapon. But I will constantly forget to switch weapons. So if I took her off of the acid splash, probably find out at much later point that I'm still not using acid splash, even though it's getting damage reduction.
This is for you!
But at the same token, you know, regardless of whether she's using acid or the bow, she still has to hit it in both of the cases initially, and I just see her missing a lot, even though it should be relatively straightforward for her to hit. Because the other thing about the bow is the bow hits against AC, not touch AC. Whereas the acid goes against touch AC, so that's a big shift, potentially.
I'll fight if I have to.
See, all she needed to hit there was touch AC of 11. And she only did. Oh, that might be a range thing. I think she can only do it. Anyway. Whereas with the bow, it'd be against AC, which I can't remember off the top of my head, is 18. So that's 35% chance less to hit. But I just see her missing with the acid splash so much. I don't know whether it's so poignant because I think it's against touch AC, so it really, really shouldn't.
So it's come to this.
miss a lot of the time. You made a mistake.
This will hurt.
Do not falter!
Alright then. Back to the first one I killed. Potion, 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 masterwork, 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 masterwork. And that is them three. Oh no, it's just a light crossbow. I didn't want to pick that up. Alright. Should these be aggressive?
Let's try this way.
Then our leader charged forwards. Hey, wait for me.
See, that's where most of my damage comes from. It's all like the fact that it's, you know, 5d8 bonus on top of 1d4 plus 6 plus 1d6.
Bring it!
Suppose if I really wanted to work out Octavia and the best would be one, find her a better bow.
Any last wishes?
Because that'd be something. It's all like at
You
the
can't
moment she's
stop me.
just got a bow. And then do the number crunching to figure out if it's, you know, pick a typical enemy. Although I don't know what's typical in this case.
I did as you
At the
asked.
bottom of the well, half hidden underwater, lies a broken bucket tied to a piece of rope. A dead Spriggan lies with a broken neck. See, I'm pretty sure Spriggan are nature things. And my people continue moving in the background. So I'll close that for a moment. Oh, there's more of them.
Stay behind me!
So close, but so far.
This should do it. Huh.
Doesn't help your movement speed at all. And yet more into the field.
You forced my hand.
This is where I step in. Consider me provoked.
Let us strike as one!
Go reinforce. How many? So I'll take care of these two before, sooner rather than later. Because this little lot's not going to get past Valerie.
I didn't even break a sweat.
Has everybody for... No, nobody's in the healing bubble kind of thing. Move over there a little and split.
I'll try to make this swift.
Natural one. Great stuff.
Serves you right. This is for you.
A calculated risk. This will hurt.
Now that they've been taken care of, back down the stairs.
Bring it!
So it's come to this.
I was gonna heal with Tristan because Octavia's looking a little peachy.
Let's try this way.
I think the other thing is, for the most part, Octavia's damage output isn't too big of a concern most of the time anyway, because she's more here for the utility of everything. I shouldn't have ran Valerie off like that, but oh well. She also needed healing.
You deserved it.
Tristan has selective channeling not to heal the enemies, doesn't he? Yes, he does.
I'll fight if I have to.
Do not falter!
He is the de facto leader, the de facto healer. He has selective channeling. He has
This should do
so
it.
many bonuses to his channeling. I honestly can't think why, unless you were playing it on an easier difficulty where you didn't have to worry about healing so much, that you'd choose Harim over Tristan. He's just so much the superior healer.
It is finished.
I was also robbing this bag over here. Oh no, I was looking at these and declaring them all useless and not worth the weight carrying them around. Hardest difficulties making in combat healing pointless. Yes. But even so, with
I'm
Tristan
listening.
and how much he can heal, even if it's outside of combat.
Once a girl told me my eyes light up her world. I said that the blessing of Sarenrae will light up her soul. She seemed disappointed.
Because, what is it? Channel positive, blessing of the faithful. Pretty sure there's something about him. At 6th level, all your cure spells are treated as if empowered. Increasing the amount of damage healed by 50%. This does not apply to dealt to undead, blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just that where it's like at 6th level, all your cure spells are treated as empowered. So even outside of combat, if Tristan is healing, then it does, a little bit extra. Of course, he's got to burn spells for that. It's not applied to his channeling. But the channel positive energy mixed in with the phylactery of positive channeling gives you another 2d6. The fact that he is a specialized healer, I don't really care too much when he gets a feat. If I apply it to something that, I could apply a bunch of combat feats to him and make him slightly better in combat, but if all I did was add more channeling into him, it goes a little bit further than most of the stuff that he could do in combat. So healing in combat can be at sometimes just not an option. This camera's going to get a little bit more confusing before it gets better. You're not flat-footed, but you are. Supplies.
Repent! A calculated risk.
And then he exploded.
You can't stop me.
You forced my hand.
This is
This
one of the
will
most
hurt.
awkward camera angles that I've ever seen.
An expected outcome.
There's another one where it's like could benefit from. I'm used to a buffing cleric regarded half that gives wisdom modifier to hit and saving throws of my party as long as they stay in the air. Yeah, yeah, I'm merely talking about sort of like from the perspective of the NPCs that you're provided with. I appreciate that there's probably a lot better healers, or there's a potential for a lot better healers if you go down the route of the mercenaries. And again, yes, one of the things is it's like on the harder level of difficulties, it wouldn't surprise me if you kind of have to embrace the concept of a 3-hour adventuring day.
I'll try to make this swift.
Which, if you've played the tabletop, one of the things that, because you can die at any moment, and because when it's playing on a tabletop, it tends not to be so like, oh, let's
try
reload and redo that fight.
This should do it.
If you die, you die. So a lot of the time, you'll be buffing and you're using a lot of abilities pretty much straight away if you're not 100% sure on the encounter. So with that, you can burn through spells, you can burn through abilities very quickly.
Provoked.
Because you want to be sure that you're not going to die. Which is kind of fair enough, but when you start going down that path, it can end up as the 3-hour adventuring day, where it's like you wake up, you walk to where you're going to get your next fight from, you burn out on all your abilities and spells, and then you walk back to town to rest up. And then you do that over and over again over the course of a few days, and then you finally get to clear out the dungeon, which isn't the worst thing in the world from the computer game point of view, because it's like, no, I need to get through this fight and at these difficulties. You know, when I was in the first world for Season of the Bloom, I was really frustrated when it was proving really difficult combat. But then towards the end of it, it's like, no, I'm going to see this through, even if I have to basically go into one fight, burn out on all of my buff spells, go back to camp, rest, and do every single fight like that, saving as I go along, and just eventually crunching my way through it. It's not a game style that I'm used to playing at a tabletop, and it's not a game style that I favor while actually playing video games, because it's like, I'd rather, you know, going back to yeah, D&D, well, one of the things that you need to consider when it comes to D&D and Pathfinder is, so, right, brief history, if I've not already said this before, or if you're not aware, is D&D went through a number of editions. They got up to 3rd edition. Wizards of the Coast, who owned D&D, decided to stop writing for it, made most of it open source, and moved on to 4th edition. A lot of the players didn't like 4th edition because of the massive changes that they did to the mechanics. And out of that was born Pathfinder, which is still on the 3rd edition rules. Nowadays called, jokingly referred to as 3.5. Or, no, I think Wizards of the Coast came out with 3.5. And then Pathfinder came along, and it's jokingly called 3.7.5. It's 3.75, because it's all like, it's not quite 4th edition, but it's not quite 3.5. But anyway, and one of the things that they don't have in it is a mechanic for regaining hit points. If you watch Critical Role, you'll see them take a short rest. They'll roll a bunch of hit dice to heal themselves up. And that's how you can get through your adventuring day, by taking a short rest, rolling hit die, and eventually ending with a long rest. There's none of that in Pathfinder. You need to rely on a healer who basically burns a load of channels, uses, you know, you can pick up a wand of Cure Light Wounds in the actual tabletop game for, I think it's something ridiculous like 150 gold pieces, which when you're starting the game is crucial because it's a lot of money, but it's 1d6 of healing for 50 shots. There's not many of them featured in Kingmaker. I think I have had some healing ones, which I've burnt through. Mainly when I was, I believe it was in the Staglord's Lair, where it's like, I have got nothing left. I'm almost out of the abilities. I need to fight my way out of here. Yeah, when it comes to the tabletop, you buy them from a shop, and you just go to the shop and you buy a wand of Cure Light Wounds. It comes with 50 charges, and that's how you get through your adventuring day. But when them ones run out, you're kind of stuck. So, yeah, the 3-hour adventuring day is something, you know, a lot of GMs like to avoid it because it feels a little bit artificial. But at the same token, by that same method is, you know, you can turn I could turn the difficulty up to its highest setting, buff everybody before every single fight, save a lot more, and it's like, okay, save it, go into the next fight, see how difficult it is, okay, reload it, buff up to a certain degree, move in, overcome the fight, go back to town, rest up, come back, and accomplish it that way, which is to a certain degree why I think some of these time frames are so very generous. 227 days. I don't think, I think the last curse still had something like 180 days on it when I went over to the kingdom management, and it's like, I'll just muck around here, burning 2 weeks doing this, 2 weeks doing that. I don't know how tight the time frames are in this at all. But at that, it's like you can afford to keep coming in and out of fights, to burn through spells to make sure that you can take it out at its highest difficulty. But I just personally, for one, yeah, and at higher levels of difficulty without really knowing what you're doing, it's like everyone can become a bit of a 3-hour day.
Do not falter!
This camera angle really is
This is for you!
making this encounter just annoy me.
I'll fight if I have to.
So it's come to this.
Kadoosh, kadoosh. Lindsay.
Any last wishes?
It's just all over there. I'm much preferring when I can look at the center of the screen to see what's going on.
This will hurt.
All that screaming just to... Right. That and that and that and that. See, the fact that these guys are all dropping these cure moderate wounds potions, that's something that's like, seems a little suspicious if you ask me. This is the other thing, it's like, I've got 48 cure moderates, 7 cure lights, 1 cure light. Why is that not stacked? They're cure serious, they're cure moderates. The other thing is you go out, you buy 100 or so healing potions if you couldn't get a hold of a wand, and just drink them. And it can become really expensive.
How may I help?
Whereas with Tristan at this stage, it's just like, that's close enough for helping everybody. Left door, right door, left door. Oh no, there is no right door. Left door it isn't. Watch out!
I see something.
There's traps. There's still dogs running around. There's somebody hidden in the... Oh no, there's nobody hidden here. Grab it all, why not?
You see that?
A trivial matter.
Somebody hidden
All
in
according
here?
to plan.
No?
We will prevail!
Yeah, scrolls as well. They're another way of getting
This
up
is
your
where I step in.
healing abilities. potentially going for also, you know, more than one class
Bring it!
build that can heal. I mean, where the hell did you come from?
Let's try this way.
Lindsay has some healing. I don't think I've taken much healing with her ever since I found Tristane. But at the same token, she's got some low-level degrees of healing.
There is still time for surrender.
You've got classes like druids, paladins. They're the only two off the top of my head that I can think of. That can also heal.
Tear them apart!
You know, and to a certain degree, classes like the paladin, you know, you could essentially replace Valerie with a paladin. Lots of armor, lots of strength. So half decent combat abilities. Unable to hit them because of all the armor, and
stop me.
Also top off that with some degree of healing. I'm guessing to a certain degree, you know, with all the classes that are available. With cleric spell conversion, I don't use the healing of my paladin that much. Yeah, it's a question of, so like, is it available? Not so much do you have to use it. It's just more of a case of, so like, you might as well do most of the healing with the cleric, but in a pinch, you might want to have some degree of healing. Because there's also the thing is, you've got the lay on hands, which I think, yeah, go after that one. Doesn't require spell slots. I'm not sure about Pathfinder. I know that that's the case in D&D, is so that they get a separate pool of healings that they can call upon. Which just kind of complements their spells. And combat ability that doesn't cost them spells or compromise their combat ability. I mean, I'm guessing that there's got to be some disadvantage to paladins, or else everybody would be running. Oh yeah, I think that might be how it works. I'm not sure. I've never actually played Pathfinder First Edition on as a tabletop game. And again, I'm one of them where it's like I don't really.
A calculated risk.
One of the problems I find with Pathfinder First Edition is the amount of theory crafting that you have to do in order to become a useful member of the party, because if you're not careful, you'll, you know, it just goes to show to a certain degree with this is like the normal difficulty in this game is not Pathfinder core rules. The normal difficulty in this game is actually slightly reduced damage, slightly reduced deadliness of crits.
This will hurt.
Characters can die twice before they're dead. And this is normal difficulty, so when it comes to tabletops, they're actually expecting it to be a little bit more difficult. And I keep picking up light crossbows without any masterwork on it.
In due time.
Alright, we are here. Still not entirely sure what's going on around here other than Spriggans have invaded. But it is time that I bring session 40. I just now noticed it says 39, but it is actually session 40. To a close. So let us save this. Let us go back to the desktop. Let us switch to just talking. Let us load up some background music. But yeah, one of my problems about getting into Pathfinder First Edition as a tabletop player at this stage is like it has been going on for, I think it's something like 5 years, if not longer, for Pathfinder First Edition. So there's so many characters, there's so classes, there's so many different archetypes, special prestige classes, and feats and abilities that if you really want to make a truly useful character in an experienced group, you need to know how everything interacts with each other, which is all fine and well if that's what you want to do. But at the same token, you know, I have a job, I have other responsibilities in my life. I also like playing video games where I don't have to think too much. So sitting down and reading through lots of material, because, you know, I've said this before, is like Pathfinder Kingmaker doesn't actually include all of the classes that are available, all of the speciality classes like the Knife Master of the Rogue that are available. It barely scratches the surface of prestige classes and the spell list is limited. There is so much in the game that is limited, yet there's still so much to take in. So me going off and sitting down and learning how to play Pathfinder First Edition, especially if it's going into an experienced group, I feel like I'd just be dragging them down. And I forgot the point that I was trying to make at the end of this, but that to me just doesn't feel like fun. It's I don't mind doing a little bit of theory crafting, but one of the things is it's like when it comes to player options in D&D, there are 4 books, and most of them are thinner than this, and that's the entire player options. I appreciate that that's mirrored. It says Player's Handbook across the top. So when it comes to theory, when it comes to theory crafting with D&D, it's not too bad because there's 4 books and it's not too bad. Yeah, first characters are always going to be a mess. Kilntor, as you see him as the Knife Master, is not my first character. In this, I knew a little bit about the companions that I will be getting, which is one of the reasons why I went rogue. Is I knew that there would be plenty of spellcasters. I knew that there'd be at least a couple of decent fighters and a couple of decent clerics. I could have gone, you know, one of the things is it's so adaptable that you can just play around with it, but at the same token, you know, if you really don't like any of the characters, you can just go down the mercenary route and recruit whoever you want. But this is the thing, this is where it's like it starts stepping up in difficulty. It's like, as a rather casual player, I'll say it, I'm a casual player of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Is like, I don't want to get into the whole nitty gritty and working everything out. So I'm playing it at normal difficulty, which is actually easier than the tabletop game. And I have the benefits of being able to save and reload and the rest of it. So when it comes to the tabletop, it's going to be more difficult. I suppose to a certain degree with the tabletop, at least if one character dies, it's not the end of the game if you can't figure out how to bring them back to life. But yeah, that's the other thing about Owlcat that I meant to mention. You mentioned that they're now more established. One of the things is the original Kickstarter, or the fresh out of the box Pathfinder Kingmaker, was not pretty. It had numerous bugs. Many of the calculations for abilities and whether they stacked and whether they didn't, and how certain things worked, just didn't reflect what the rules should be. So it was a bit of a rocky start. I'm glad that they've persisted with it and got it up to the stage that they have now. But at the same token, it's like, it wouldn't surprise me if some people lost faith in Owlcat Games right at the start of the project and haven't reviewed it again since and have been put off by it. But I might look into that a little bit and see how much money Pathfinder Kingmaker made and how much money Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous made, to see whether there was a increase in that. And yeah, again, one of the things that I didn't do is I didn't really... I dabbled with it. I played around with it. I didn't like the real time, and so I had to turn the difficulty down to be able to play the real time and make any significant progress, which I didn't like, because it was like turn it down a bit, still too difficult, turn it down a bit, still too difficult, turn it into story mode, which was just like, I might as well just read the book for all of the difficulty that there was in it. So I'm really glad that they came out with a turn-based, but yeah, I didn't pick it up myself until it came out with turn-based. I'm hoping that Wrath of the Righteous comes out of the box with turn-based. It would seem... Again, it depends on whether they're using the same engine or not. If they're using the same engine as Kingmaker, then it's already baked into it, and they don't have to work on it. If they're using a newer engine, then they might not have time for the initial release to bake in turn-based. I don't know. I should really go looking into that, but not now. Anyway, right, thank you for joining me. I have been Kyron Rossmore. This has been Pathfinder Kingmaker session 40, and I will be streaming tomorrow, Cyberpunk 2077. I'll be back with Kingmaker next Tuesday, but before then, like I say, tomorrow with Cyberpunk 2077. Saturday, I'll be playing co-op games with my friend Kichigai Neko. I believe we're playing Deep Rock Galactic again. Monday, Cyberpunk 2077. Different times. Check my schedule. I am going to raid a friend of mine. I believe they're back playing Starfinder over on Half Singer Games. But I'm not entirely sure. But I believe that's what they're doing. And if nothing else, hope to see you again. And I hope you all have a good evening. Daddy bye.
Unless the other